Everyone is talking about 2026 makeup trends. But for us, with hooded eyes, a trend is only a trend until we blink and it disappears. I'm taking the 5 biggest spring trends from Pilates skin to 90s grunge and show you how to actually engineer them so they don't vanish. And I'm styling them with the pieces from Idyl that act as the light reflectors for the face. Look 1. Pilates skin. The problem is greasy versus glowy, and usually we apply a glowing primer all over the face without thinking about structure, the natural volume of the face, the areas where pores are more visible. It can easily turn into a sweat effect instead of glow. So instead of this, apply just a little to the perimeter of the face with the tapping motions. The next problem is using too much foundation and often the wrong shade. With no dimension, just apply it all over the face. To create a real Pilates skin glow on real skin, with a texture, with the blemishes, placement is everything. Apply a slightly deeper shade to the contour areas and a lighter tone to the center of the face. Just a little, we don't need full coverage everywhere. And look at the lifting effect this creates. To prevent creasing and removing unwanted volume, like under-eye puffiness, set strategically with a powder. Forehead, under the eyes. It's important. Now look at the skin. Luminous on the cheeks, but strictly matte on the brow bone. For the Pilates trend, avoid adding moisture or highlighter there. Let's unbox the earrings. I've been wearing one of them every day and you've been asking where them from? So I'll show you. These are classic diamond studs. They follow the same principle, controlled intentional light. I'm wearing the smallest size because it works best with my face proportions. They are incredibly versatile. But they also have larger sizes if you want more presence. And we can layer a bit more light, like this delicate Venezia piece. Look 2. The Marathon Flash. The most common mistake is placement. Applying blush too low pulls the face down and can make it look tired. On some face shapes, it even adds visual weight. Placing it too close to the nose enhances redness in this area we usually want to neutralize, right? We are placing this high, almost meeting the temple. This creates a diagonal line that lifts the eye area, counteracting the natural downward weight of the hooded lid. Don't blend the lighter shade of the blush too low. Keep it high, sweeping toward the temple, almost like a highlighter. Think of it as a transition color. And this creates an optical lift that balances a heavier lid. You can also softly sweep it across the nose for that sun-kissed effect, but keep it controlled. For extra lift, extend the line of your concealer or foundation slightly upward following the direction of the lower lash line, almost like a continuation, and then blend. This reinforces that lifted structure. Because this look is so soft and flushed, I love balancing it with something equally refined but versatile, like these sash earrings in the flower-shaped diamond design. It's that same idea of beauty, just adjusting the density depending on the moment. The earrings here subtly frame the face and balance that fresh flush of color. Look 3. Watercolor lids, or floating crease. Have you noticed how watercolor shades look completely different from the packaging? Pastels often turn muddy, look like a bruise, or simply disappear on the hooded lids. First things first, prep the canvas. Apply an almost white eye primer. Pastels lose their clarity because the base underneath shifts the tone. So we neutralize it first. Next, the key step. Apply the pastel shade above your natural crease with your eyes open. This ensures the color stays visible even when your eyes are relaxed. Look at the difference between the two eyes. It's subtle, but it changes everything. This trend is actually incredibly easy to adapt for hooded lids once you adjust the placement. I'm pairing this airy diffused color with my Idyl necklace, and this is the Ava. You can wear it with a pear-shaped diamond facing up or down, depending on how you want the light to hit. When you go for soft watercolor tones on the eyes, you need a precise, high-quality point of focus to balance the look, something that grounds it. A diamond does exactly that. And it adds that quiet sense of luxury and keeps the look from feeling too soft or unfinished. And the star of the show, the earrings I wear almost every day. For everyone who's been asking, there's Estelle. Look for blurred dark lips. Start with a concealer, neutralize and even out the lip contour, especially if your lips are naturally pigmented. And this creates a clean base so the color reads through. Then go in with a deep, cool-toned wine lipstick. It's instantly sophisticated. Press the pigment in with your fingers to create that soft focus edge. This is where structure comes back in. A blurred lip can feel a bit undone, so I balance it with a sharper, more defined jewelry, like the same Estelle earrings. They add precision and keep the whole look intentional. Actually, this is one of the most misunderstood 2026 trends. Blurred lips don't mean messy, they mean controlled diffusion. I'm using a rich, creamy formula like a NARS dark lipstick because it gives you enough playtime to shape and soften it. Keep the center more richer and let the edges fade. Do not outline the lips first, that instantly removes the softness. Look 5, 19 Smudge. The usual problem is simple. It looks messy but not intentional at all. For hooded eyes, I always recommend focusing the smudge on the outer third of the eye and along the lash line. This keeps the inner corner bright, which is the number one rule for making hooded eyes look awake. Avoid taking dark shades too high. That's what can make the eyes look slightly sunken instead of lifted. Instead, soften a black pencil with a creamy gray eyeshadow. I even love using this tone on the lips sometimes. Smudge it, blend it side to side. You can use fingertip or small brush. Don't aim for precision. Don't try to make it perfect, and it should feel slightly uneven, a bit unfinished, like it wasn't overthought. But there is one important step: clean up just under the outer corner. That small lift is what transforms the whole look and gives that foxy shape to the eye. Then set everything with a light powder to prevent creasing and to smooth the edges. I also apply it to the forehead. For extra depth, add black pencil along the waterline and softly blend again. Grunge can easily look unrefined, I know, but when you pair a smoky, undone eye with the diamonds, it becomes editorial. And exactly that contrast is what makes it work. That's why I added all of these pieces. They act like a frame that tells the world the smudge is intentional. Suddenly, the mess becomes design. And I love how this makeup works anywhere. Look at this. With a simple top or dressed up with a black jacket, it still looks elevated. So this is what I mean when I talk about trends that actually work for real life, for real skin, the skin with the blemishes, with a little bit fine lines. Yeah, it works. And yeah, it's not about copying makeup trends exactly as you see them online. It's about understanding how light, structure, and softness actually work on your face. When you start controlling those elements and then layering details like jewelry, everything feels intentional, it becomes yours. It's about adapting trends to your features, your proportions, even your styling, and honestly, the small details matter so much more than people think. Makeup, light, jewelry, they all work together. So tell me, out of these 2026 trends, which ones have you tried and loved, and which ones were completely not for you? And thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Bye!